Here we'll be seeing the core architecture components of Azure. Let me change. Okay, so first we'll be covering what is Microsoft Azure. Then we will explore about Azure accounts. Then we see what is this sandboxing and how it's been used in the learning path for Azure. Then physical infrastructure, then management infrastructure, then we see a lab session, Azure resource, to how to create a resource. Okay, so here Azure is continually expanding cloud service. So it's like they are expanding in all the IT segments to help more on the enterprise part. So Azure gives you a freedom to build, manage, and deploy applications on a massive global network using your favorite tools and frameworks. So it's like more flexible in general, like you can build and manage or deploy and can use our favorite tools and frameworks. So it's very flexible to use. That's the main reason for continually expanding service. So build intelligent apps and solutions with advanced technology tools and services to take the business to the next level, so which the business people are more interested in. Seamlessly unify your technology to simplify platform management. Deliver innovation efficiently and securely on a trusted cloud. Azure provides more than 100 services that enable you to do everything from running your existing application on virtual machine to exploring new software paradigms such as intelligent bots or mixed reality. So in in general, the Azure provides more than 100 services. So it can be like already you are running a service in your on premises that can be moved to cloud by running it in a VM, or you can just use their software as a service support or any app services. You can just use it and develop your intelligent bot or mixed reality thing, or you need any other services you can just use. So you have both possibilities. Already you have a running application, just can run it in the cloud, or if you want to develop an application or you can want to use a app service available in Microsoft, you can use it as well. Teams start exploring the cloud by moving their existing applications to virtual machines, VMs, that run in Azure. So this is how most of the companies will start using. Just they would like to move their current running application to the cloud and see how compatible it is and how comfortable our users are, in what ways it's benefiting the enterprise and the infra team. Migrating your existing apps to VMs is a good start, but the cloud is much more than a different place to run your VMs. So it's not like the old days, like when this cloud came into existence just for running your things in the cloud, running your application in the cloud or storing the things in the cloud. Now it has been expanded to a different level of support. Like you can have their own direct applications, like we in the previous video I discussed about this software as a service. Like they create everything for us. We just need to maintain the identity, data, and user account. The rest all is on the cloud service provider. Azure provides artificial intelligence and machine learning services that can naturally communicate with your users through vision, hearing, and speech. So Azure also provides AI and machine learning services as well. It also provides storage solutions that dynamically grow to accommodate massive amount of data. So the storage services is like one of the important topic in Azure to discuss. So we will see it in a separate video in the later videos. We'll discuss in depth about the storage solutions. So one of the important thing to take note in the certification point of view, there will be a lot of questions with relation to the storage services, and it's very important to know that, because every time when you're using an application or moving something, when you're creating a cloud storage account, you must know which account is suitable for your current application or current usage. So that's very important to know it. Azure services enable solutions that aren't feasible without the power of the cloud. Like extremely powerful and extremely very useful applications are being solutions has been provided by the Azure, which can only be made easy or only made easy by the power of the cloud. If there is no this solutions through cloud, then we would have not been able to achieve this. So those kind of solutions are also being provided by Azure services. So here we will be seeing a small video about what is Azure.
What is Azure? Azure is Microsoft's cloud computing platform with an ever-expanding set of services to help you build solutions to meet your business goals. Azure supports infrastructure, platform, and software as a service computing with services such as virtual machines running in the cloud, website and database hosting, and advanced computing services like artificial intelligence, machine learning, and IoT. Most of Azure's services are pay-as-you-go. You only pay for the computing time that you use. If your business needs complete control over your computing environment, Azure allows you to host virtual machines in the cloud. You can create virtual machines from scratch, upload your own virtual hard drive, or choose from an array of templates that Azure provides. Azure also provides cloud-based storage, which allows you to store your application or backup data safely and securely. Azure's app services provide a scalable hosting platform where developers can create web-based applications using popular development frameworks. You can easily deploy, operate, and scale your apps in a fully managed environment. With Azure Functions, you can create event-driven, serverless applications with no coding required. Azure Container Instances and Azure Kubernetes Service allow you to deploy containerized applications with fully managed services. Azure offers a choice of fully managed relational and in-memory databases, spanning proprietary and open-source engines, and Microsoft's Cosmos DB provides support for several popular NoSQL APIs. Azure's artificial intelligence and machine learning services empower developers and data scientists with a wide range of productive experiences for building, training, and deploying machine learning models faster. Azure's regional data centers allow you to distribute your applications globally, so you can locate your data and apps where they're needed most, thereby improving your application performance for your customers. The Azure portal lets you create, configure, and control all your services and resources from a single, easy-to-use web-based interface. Microsoft Azure offers a wide array of cloud computing services where infrastructure management, scalability, availability, and security are handled for you, saving you time and money.
Okay, so here we will see a different the management part of Azure infrastructure. So here you see first is noted as Azure account, then you see something called subscription, then resource group and resources. So you will see in detail of what all these things. This is like a hierarchy, the top level hierarchy to the bottom, the lower level hierarchy. So to create and use Azure services, you need an Azure subscription. So only if you have a subscription, you can create a resource group or resources or any kind of Azure services you want to use it. So you need a subscription. That's one of the important thing to take note. So when you are working with your own application and business needs, you need to create an Azure account, and a subscription will be created for will be created. So after you have created an Azure account, you are free to create additional subscriptions. So like under each account you can create multiple subscriptions. It's not necessary that you should have only one subscriptions. You can create multiple subscriptions as well. So this all will be more useful in management infrastructure. In the next videos I will tell you how it's being useful in the management infrastructure having multiple subscriptions. So for example, a company might use a single account for your business and separate subscriptions for development, marketing, sales, and sales department. So usually Azure account you can imagine to a company. So if you have a company like this, Techify Adil is a company, so we create an account Techify Adil. So under the Techify Adil's company, there's a sales department, there's a IT department, there's different marketing and so on, different departments. So for each departments I can create subscriptions. So what is the purpose of creating this multi subscriptions? I said we'll see in the next slides. So after you have created an Azure subscription, you can start creating Azure resources within each subscription. So like, say example, this is one of the department linked to a subscription like sales. Then I can create required resource groups under that and resources under that. So here we will see about the accounts. Azure free account. There's Azure free accounts for us to use to get more familiarized with the services provided. So Azure provides this kind of service as well, so that we can create a free account. So normal free account is free access to Azure products for 12 months. That's a popular Azure products, not all the products. That's a popular Azure product for 12 months. It's like 1 year. Then the credit to use for first 30 days. For 30 days they will provide you a credit, so within that you can utilize the resources. Then access to more than 25 products that are always free, so you don't need to use the credit, so you can still use the 25 products that's always free. The Azure free account is an excellent way for new users to get started and explore. So to sign up, you need a phone number, credit card, and Microsoft or GitHub account. So you just need a phone number, so it will give you OTP. Then the credit card is just for your verification. So it will just for the verification purpose, it will just charge like $1. Then it will be refunded back just to verify the person is original, it's not a computer or something. So they will create it will do a verification using a credit card. Then you should need a Microsoft or GitHub account, like normal Hotmail or Outlook account. That's a free account will do. Then the Azure free student account offer, there's something called Azure free student account. So this also has Azure services, or an Azure service for 12 months, a credit to use in the first 12 months. So here you will have a credit to use for first 12 months. Then free access to certain software developer tools as well for a student from point of view to learn. The Azure free student account is an offer for students that gives 100 credit and $100 worth credit and free developer tools. Also you can sign up without a credit card. So these are the two types of free accounts Azure provides. So if you are a normal user, can go for free account, or you can go for a free student account. So here we will be seeing a video on Azure account.
To start taking advantage of the wide array of Azure services, you'll need to first sign up for an account. If you are completely new to using Azure, you can begin exploring what Azure has to offer by signing up for an Azure free account. An Azure free account includes access to 20 Azure products free for 12 months, access to additional products that are always free, and a $200 credit to spend during your first 30 days. For more information on signing up for an Azure free account, head here. If you work for a large organization, you may be able to purchase access through a Microsoft representative or through a Microsoft partner. Finally, you can purchase access directly through Azure.com. With pay-as-you-go pricing, you pay only for what you use each month, with no upfront commitment, and you can cancel at any time. Once you have an active Azure account, you may want to create additional subscriptions for resource or billing management purposes. If you have multiple subscriptions, you can organize them into invoice sections. Each invoice section is a line item on the invoice that shows the charges incurred that month. You can also set up multiple invoices within the same billing account by using billing profiles. Each billing profile has its own monthly invoice and payment method. Once your account is active and billing is set up, you're ready to start using Azure. As a part of your subscription, you have 24/7 access to online documentation, community support, and new Azure Capabilities demo videos created by Azure engineers. For more information on the support resources available to you, head here.
Okay, so here we see what's uh, Azure region, then availability zones and data centers. What's all these terms refers to? So first we see Microsoft data center. So Microsoft data center is generally similar to what our enterprise data center is. So it's just the Microsoft data center infrastructure designed to use for the Microsoft cloud. So currently there are like 60 plus Azure regions with 300 plus data centers and 280k plus kilometers of network connecting the centers and Azure regions, and 190 plus network connections. So this is current details about the Microsoft data center. So what's this Azure region? So Azure region will have different availability zones. So Azure regions will be divided into availability zones, so that if like one of the availability zone is down for some reason, like a power failure or some kind of issues, you still have other availability zones that's running, so that you have data recovery very faster and still your services keep running. So the physical infrastructure, as mentioned in the previous slide, it starts with the data centers. A region is a geographical area on the planet that contains at least one but potentially multiple data centers that are nearby and networked together with a low latency network. So a region is a term used in Azure, so that refers to a geographical area, uh, like it is North America or Southeast, it refers to some region. So it's a geographical location that can have multiple data centers in it. So Azure intelligently assigns and controls the resources within each region to ensure workloads are appropriately balanced. So availability zones are physically separate data centers within a Azure region. Each availability zone is made up of one or more data centers equipped with independent power, cooling and networking. So this availability zones, what we see in the previous slide, so these availability zones are physically separate data centers within a Azure region. So we have Azure region, say it's a North American Azure region. So we have different availability zones. So each availability zones are physically separated data centers with power supply, networking and cooling systems, and these data centers are connected. So an availability zone is set up to be an isolation boundary. If one zone goes down, the other continues working. Availability zones are connected through high speed private fiber optic network. That's very important, so that your connection still continues to be same with the same speed. So like one of the availability zone is down, then still we have another availability zone the same region. Availability zones are primarily for VMs, managed disk, load balancers and SQL databases. Azure services that support availability zones fall into three categories: zonal service, zone redundant service and non-regional service. So what is this zonal service? So you pin the resource to a specific zone. So example, I'm having a VM, so I pin it to a specifically a particular zone where it has to be. So that's a zonal service. Then zone redundant service, the platform replicates automatically across zones. So there's a storage or database storage. So the based on the service you subscribe, it will be automatically replicated to different across the zones, so that if any of the storage is failed or down, then you still have your backup running in another place, so that it can be used. So that's a zone redundant service. Non-regional service, so services are always available from Azure geographies and are resilient to zone-wide outages and as well as region-wide outages. So this is like storing it in a different geographies. different locations. So if the entire zone is down or the entire region is down, still you have your data or your service up and running. So this is all based on what kind of service you take during creating your services or your resources. So most Azure regions are paired. That's one of the important thing. Most of the Azure regions will be paired region within the same geography as earlier mentioned. So Azure regions are connected with high speed fiber optic network. This approach allows for the replication of resources across a geography that helps to reduce likelihood of interruptions because of the events such as natural disaster or civil unrest, power outage or physical network outage that affect the entire region. So if the entire region is down for some reason, like we have some kind of civil issues or some power outage or a very big natural disaster, like so something happens to our entire region, then still we can keep it running. But if the Azure regions are paired and we have our data running in another region, a resource is the basic building block of the Azure. Anything you create, provision, deploy is a resource. So like virtual machine, virtual network, database, services, all these are considered as a resources within the Azure. So resources groups are simply groupings of resources. So what resource group contains? It just contains the resources. We group the resources into a bag or into a set called a resource group. When you create a resource, you are required to place it into a resource group. When you're creating a resource, it will ask you to take a resource group, to choose a resource group to which this resource belongs to. While a resource group can contain many resources, a single resource can only be in a resource group at a time. Some resources may be moved between resource groups, but when you move a resource to a new group, it will no longer be associated with the former group. So a resource can be associated only with one of the resources at a time. It cannot be shared between two resource groups. So whenever you apply some policies to a resource group, it will be inherited by the resource. Like if you're deleting the resource group, the resources under the resource group will be deleted. So whatever policies or whatever conditions you apply on the resource group will be inherited to the resources. So subscriptions allow you to locate your resource groups and facilitate building. Is able to logically separate our resource groups and facilitate building. So using Azure requires an Azure subscription. So an Azure subscription links to an Azure account, which is an identity in Microsoft Entra ID. Entra ID is like a cloud active directory. So in normal on-premises we have AD, right, active directory. So this Entra ID is nothing but the cloud active directory. Previously it was called Azure AD, AAD. Now they have retermed it as Entra ID. So it's just Azure AD, or in a directory that Microsoft Entra ID trusts. So an account can have multiple subscriptions, which I have mentioned in the slide before. So there are two types of subscription boundaries that can be used. So one is billing boundary, the other one is access control boundary. So the billing boundaries, Azure generates separate billing reports and invoices for each subscription so that you can organize and manage the cost. So this is what I mentioned as the advantage of having multiple subscriptions based on some grouping like department or buildings or locations. You create a subscription so that the billing reports and invoices for each subscription will be generated, so that we know what each department is billed to. So each department we can bill in separately. So that's about the billing boundary. What's this access control boundary? So this billing model allows you to manage and control access to the resources that users provision with specific subscription. So under subscription, say we say like subscription A. So under subscription A, you are creating resources. So that resources will be manage and control access for the user's provision with that subscription only. So we can have a access control boundary. That's one type of subscription boundary. The other type is the billing boundary. So similar to using resource groups to separate resources by function or access, you might want to create additional subscriptions for resources or billing management purposes. So you might choose to create additional subscriptions to separate organization structure, building and environment. So based on environment or based on billing or based on the organization structure, we can create additional subscriptions so that we can keep them separate, easy to manage. Hope the video was very helpful. Please share and subscribe to my channel Techify with Adil. And also please share the link with your friends so that they are also getting benefited. So actually with the I'll be also posting other videos you can continuously watch to learn more about the other certification. So once we have completed the entire package, you can prepare for your certification of AZ 900 Microsoft Azure Fundamentals exam.